So I've done some pretty detailed valuation work on Lyft, and I actually like the stock even a little bit lower than its last private round. So I'd like to see that stock at a market capitalization of about $14 billion. Even with today's nastiness, that market cap is still $19 to $20 billion. And so if I'm right, that stock goes down 30% from here. And so this isn't surprising that it's showing some weakness post the euphoria last week.
Neil, what are your thoughts on Lyft?
Well, I think if I look at Lyft and I look at Tesla, these are emotional trades. They're both losing $1 billion a year, so I don't even know why you'd want to get in that game when you can buy tons of value out there. But this is the Lyft IPO could put pressure on the future IPOs coming forward, like Uber. Are you going to get that price or you're not? But bottom line, Kelly, those are emotional trades, and they can go either way.
Paul, what about people who say that, hey, Lyft has a seat at the table in autonomous driving? What do you say about investing in those kinds of themes in general?
Well, the interesting thing about Lyft and Uber and the whole ride-sharing paradigm is that there really are no network effects. And for technology companies to be successful, at least in the long term, you have to have network effects where more users beget more users because the service becomes more valuable. This might be a company that actually has, with surge pricing and traffic, negative network effects. And so over time, as they get larger, you might have some cost efficiencies, but I don't see the potential for network effects, which are mandatory to get this thing going in the other direction.
Don't they have network effects on the driver side, though? You know, the more people you have using the service, the more drivers you get, the lower the cost should be, and that's a virtuous loop?
It's a virtuous loop, and it's awesome for the customers, and I love those services. I use them heavily. I don't know if it makes sense short, intermediate, or long term for the business model.
All right, Dom, let me bring you in on this. So we know now that the stock popped at the open. So if you're the retail public who bought in at, let's say, 87, which was the first chance you got.
87 and change, yeah.
Doesn't feel too good right now. As you said, we're down 20%.
No, it doesn't at all. I mean, the idea here is as you talk about the opening trades, we've typically seen these things elevate, you know, as soon as retail investors get involved. The issue then becomes whether or not they stay involved in it right now. When you see a 23% rise in just the first couple of hours, let's call it, of trading, and then a fall off like you've seen, it doesn't instill a lot of confidence. But what it does provide, and this is in no way saying that Lyft is a value right now, the opportunities to the downside are what people sought in the broader public markets during the course of the fourth quarter of last year. It created opportunities for people to get a Chipotle, which is now up 85% since the Christmas Eve lows. Other names like Amazon up 30-some%. I mean, so there are situations where the market creates. Not saying that Lyft is one of them, but as valuations compress, there are opportunities that people are going to look for and say, hey, maybe that should go on my shopping list.
And Neil, I'll tell a quick story. A friend of mine who I wouldn't say she really follows the markets, but she bought Facebook at 19 several years back because she said, I use the product and it just seemed like the price was so crazy low. You know how many professional investors would have killed to buy Facebook at 19? Is the retail investor smart enough to know that maybe 87 for Lyft isn't their entry point? Maybe they're waiting for something more like what Paul's looking for.
But I sort of look at it and I understand exactly what your friend did. But there's plenty of time to buy into Lyft or Uber or at that time Facebook. Let them get closer, break even or money. If you look at Lyft or Uber, once you're hooked on it, you're hooked on it. So they can double their prices. If I want to take an Uber around the corner so I don't have to drink and drive coming home and it's $7, is it going to make a bit of difference if they double it to 15? To me, no.